Hey gardeners, today I'm showing you how to pot up begonia tubers indoors for maximum growth and to save money. Starting them early gives you bigger, healthier plants for the season. Let's get growing. Hey y'all, it's Amanda and this is my Texas Zone 8 garden. And before we dive in, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a fellow gardening friend. Okay, we are getting started on potting up begonia tubers. Super excited. Begonia is a recently discovered new love of my life. I'm kind of obsessed with tuberous begonias. They have just big, beautiful blooms, doubled pendulum where they like drape down out of baskets. Just absolutely beautiful. And they are super pricey when you buy the plant at a nursery. So what I started doing last year is I started purchasing the tubers and starting them myself. So I want to show you all that process because it's a huge money saver for a very expensive plant. Okay, so why would I start begonias indoors? Begonias are very slow growers. Starting them early ensures bigger plants and earlier blooms. I'm actually a little late. I probably should have started them earlier, but truthfully, they've just now recently been available. The tubers have. They prefer warm, stable temperatures for sprouting, making indoor starts the perfect ideal space to do that. So I have a number of begonias. These all right here are going to be from Green Acres Nursery in Melissa, Texas. And then these right here are, I believe, are from Home Depot. Yeah, Home Depot. They grow? Think they're from Home Depot? Lowe's? Home Depot? Home Depot. They're from Home Depot. And so let me talk about the different varieties and then we're going to go ahead and get them all planted up. All right, the first one is the Odorata Angelique, and these are absolutely beautiful. They're like cotton candy. They're so beautiful. Beautiful cascading double pink blooms with a light fragrance. Best for hanging baskets. The height is about 12 to 16 inches tall and they prefer part shade. Begonias definitely have to have shade. I'm looking to put these in some of my structures in my shade garden and just have them spill over the edge, which would be amazing. And I got 2 bulbs and I believe it was like $6, right around there, $5 to $6 for them. And with begonia bulbs, the bigger the tuber, the more blooms it's going to put off. So if the tuber is really small, it's going to be really smart. It's not going to be a lot of blooms. So I literally dug through and chose the biggest ones that they had. Okay, next, also from Green Acres, is the Piketty Yellow. And the Piketty Yellow is bright yellow petals with a striking red edge. Perfect for containers or garden borders. The height is about 12 to 16 inches and it prefers part shade. And once again, I dug through and look at these big old tubers. I know, super excited. And it was like 2 for like $7 as well. All right, next I got this one because it has the word ballerina in it. My daughter is a ballerina. So Splendide Ballerina Apricot. These are gorgeous. They have yellow tones, creamy tones, apricot, peach. Really pretty warm apricot colored ruffled blooms. Semi-trailing habit, great for pots. The height is about 10 to 14 inches tall and it prefers part shade. Once again, I dug through the packaging to get the biggest tuber I possibly could. I also made sure to squeeze them, that they felt firm, they didn't feel mushy or rotting. All right, and then these 2 sets are from Home Depot. And Vigoro, I've never bought Vigoro begonias before. This, I think the bulb thing is new to them. And it is 3 double mixed bulbs for $9.98. It's a variety of lush double flowers in multiple colors. It looks like reds, orangey reds, yellows, pinks, perfect for adding color to shady areas. Height is about 10 to 16 inches tall, and it is part shade. And I have no idea what these tubers look like, so it'll be really interesting to compare. So it's 3 tubers for $10, and I got 2 sets. Now, I know that seems pricey to pay $2 to $3 for a single tuber, but these plants are like $9.99 for 1 tuber already planted up, ready to go. So it is way more cost effective for something that I'm absolutely obsessed and in love with, way more cost effective for me to go this route at this point in time. Okay, as with any bulbs, tubers or bare roots, one of the first things we need to do is inspect them to see if they have any mold, rot, or any issues. So let's start with that. And I'm going to bring y'all in closer so you can see too. Okay, so I'm just going to start with opening one, just to show you some general stuff, and then we'll go from there and get them planted. All right, and it's kind of like wood chip things. You can just kind of dust them off. If a few stick, it's not the end of the world. It's really just to keep these from rotting. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with how big these tubers are. Is that okay? Yeah, that's okay. All right, so I'm checking to make sure that they're nice and firm, that they don't smell bad, anything like that. This one feels a little soft right here, but I still think it's okay. I feel like I see a little bit of mold right there. Yeah, I don't necessarily think I might just kind of pull this part off. Yeah. I feel like this one's struggling. This is definitely mold right there, so pull that off. I'm going to actually let this guy sit out and scab over for a few days before I plant it. But I'll show you guys the rest of the process. That looks good. And I'm going to put the coordinating bulbs on top of their picture so that I know which are which. So let's look at this one. Yeah, that one's good. This one's good too. Okay, that one looks good too. Yeah, that one looks good. All right, and let's pop open these Vigoro ones. Oh, so these are way smaller. I definitely feel like these are not as good a quality. This doesn't look too bad, but it doesn't look awesome either, considering the price. Let's check this other container. If this container looks bad, then I'm going to return them. Okay. That one looks okay. Okay. That one looks good. And that one looks good. Okay. All right. I'm actually pretty happy with it. I don't love to return stuff, but if it was like a lot of them, I wouldn't bother. This one looks like it has a little bit of mold on it. This one feels a little squishy. We might try it anyway. We'll see. Because it definitely has some growth points coming up on it. All right. Okay. So now we're going to be potting them up. So we want to talk about, we just checked for the healthy tubers, removed any that were rotting or had mold or anything like that. You don't want any of those because it can contribute to molding all the rest of them. Just create a big mess. It's just not worth it. And then once again, the larger the tuber, the more blooms and flowers you're going to get. It's going to be prettier. So this is huge, whereas those Vigoro ones are quite small. Massive difference there. Okay, let's talk about proper orientation of the tubers because this can be very confusing with begonias. And I'm not going to lie, I've definitely planted some upside down over the years. So you want to identify the concave. That means indented side, right? Looks like someone just pushed their thumb into the center. That is the concave of the bulb. The concave faces straight up. And a lot of times you can already see some of the little sprouts, but that's where all the sprouts are going to be coming from. The bottom is rounded, right? It's a rounded side. That is placed down. So concave, where it looks like someone took their thumb and pushed into it, that concave area, it's going to point up. The rounded side is going to point down. Now, for begonias, we don't want to plant them too deep. It leads to rot and a lot of issues. You can actually start all these up in just a shallow tray if you want. I prefer to individually pot mine up. So let me show you what that looks like. Now, begonias do not like soggy roots, so you have to have very well draining containers to make sure they have a hole in the bottom. I'm just going to use some of these, are like quart, maybe a little smaller than a quart container, which tends to be really good. Some of these bigger guys, Might be a little tough, but I think I'll probably go ahead and go for it. But I'm going to work with these containers. Okay, and then the best soil, you want well-draining soil. The best soil you can use is going to have a peat moss in it or some kind of sand to add for draining purposes. I'm going to use Burger BM7, which has peat moss in it. It's a great well-draining soil, so I feel really good about that as a potting soil. If you feel like your potting soil is a little bit heavier, just add 1 part sand into it, mix it up, and that will help alleviate the sogginess in the soil and will work a lot better. So begonia tubers are planted pretty close to the surface. I'm going to go ahead and fill this up, gosh, pretty high. And then, I mean, I've only got an inch or two, but it's not compacted yet. So I'm going to take my tuber, making sure the concave portion or the indented one is facing upwards. I'm going to nestle that down into the soil just like that. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly cover it with a little bit more soil, barely covering it. You can still see the edges of it, and that's it. That's all we're going to be doing for each of the tubers. And I'm going to make sure that I label each one with the name and the date. All right, let's start again. I'm going to fill it pretty high. And then I'm going to take my tuber, and I'm going to kind of twist it down into the soil a little bit so it's nice and nestled. And then we're just going to cover it lightly with a little bit more soil. Very simple, just like that. Try that process again. Twist down, lightly cover. All right, and I know we've got that larger one right here. And these are going to get planted in much larger containers. These are just to get it started. Give that a cover, just like that. You can even just see a little bit of the tuber. Yeah, I'm definitely going to this is that same one. I'm going to let that heal over for a few days, see how it does. Okay, and now we're going to move over to the Vigoro ones. All right, this is the rotted one. I mean, I feel like that's the roots. See what happens. Got all that potted up. Now we need to water them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come across with my containers in one of my seedling trays. These are those 10 by 20 trays. I might have to carefully work one more in here, just at an angle. Okay, now you can follow this whole same process by just filling one of these trays, just the tray itself with soil, and nestling all of the begonia tubers in, and then at a later point planting them wherever it is that you want. I just like this process a little bit better, especially if I'm dealing with any potential mold or rot, because I don't want it spreading to the rest of the tubers. So this process works great for me. Okay, so next we have to water, and I'll put probably an inch of water into the bottom of the tray and allow it to soak up. And then I'm not going to really mess with it very much until I start to see some sprouting come through. Maybe a little bit more water if I feel like the soil feels too dry. But you do need to remember, begonias don't like soggy water. They don't want to sit in water for days and days and days. That will definitely rot your tubers. And then while I'm waiting for these to sprout, we're going to put them in a bright indirect light. So I have a lot of grow lights in here, so it's just going to be off to the side against one of the walls. Our lights are on about 16 hours a day, and I think that'll work really well. And we're going to do that until we see sprout, until we see green coming from the surface. And the temp needs to be at about 65 to 70 degrees, which is perfect inside. I tend to be between the 68 and 72 range, which works really well, which is one of the big reasons petunias, begonia tubers do better inside to start off rather than outside. And it can take a while, 2 to 4 weeks to see sprouts. So don't feel anxious if you don't see any growth immediately. Okay, and then regarding transplanting them outside, once night temps are above 50 degrees consistently during the night and there's no risk of frost, then you can definitely go ahead and start hardening these off and moving them outside for transplanting. Hardening off is extremely important. That's gradually introducing them to outdoor conditions over at least a week to 10 days. And that'll be really important for begonias because it can be very sensitive. But I'm really excited to have all of these. I mean, if it all works out, I'll have 11 begonia tubers to go in my garden, which would be glorious. If I were to, go buy all this myself, it'd be at minimum $100, probably a lot more. So it's really good to kind of get these a little bit lower prices with the tubers. But I'll definitely keep you guys updated. Now let me know, how do you grow your begonias? Do you grow them from tuber or do you grow them I've tried seed with vast failures, so I'm not doing seed anymore right now, or do you prefer to buy them at the nursery? One of the things I will do is I will try to dig up these tubers. I tried to do that last year, but I didn't get to them soon enough. I should have gotten to them before the heat of our summer happens, and a lot of them died back really bad, and then I couldn't locate the tubers. So I will try to get this at an earlier onset before it gets too rough into July and August and they all die off. But the goal will be to harvest these tubers and to keep them inside, harvest them before the winter, bring them inside, and then repot them for the next year. Fingers crossed. All right, and once again on the water, I'm just coming in. I'm putting about an inch of water in the tray. And we'll just let that soak up from the bottom. Yeah, looks good. All right, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. A lot of y'all have been asking about potting up begonias, so it's really fun to kind of show you all that process, see how it all goes. Hopefully it goes well. And of course, I'll keep you updated as always. Make sure you like and comment on the channel. Every time you like and comment on a video, it helps grow the channel so much. And if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, just drop me an emoji below, letting me know that you made it to the end of the video and that you say hi. And be sure to check me out on my new Patreon community. It's been super fun. It is a community where it's all gardeners and you join a specific community like She's a Mad Gardener. And there's a free tier and there are also paid tiers. And in each of the tiers, you get a certain level of availability of content, anywhere from additional free videos to chats to sharing photos to seeing what I'm doing on a daily basis. I do try to post on that on a daily basis. It's super fun. Really, really enjoying it. So definitely go check that out. As always, she's a mad gardener or decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.